Module 1, Section 3, and this is the Grandparents' Guide to New Technologies. Guys, this is one of the most challenging parts of being a grandparent today. We've got to learn a lot of new things. And it's not just learning how to use that complicated baby stroller, it's the technology of the fact that, the baby monitor is an app on your phone. So this is a really important section, and I don't want anybody to be discouraged when it comes to new technology because as a grandparent, technology goes hand in hand with your ability to get time with your grandchildren. So when your kids first have children, you've got to learn all this new baby technology. And when your grandchildren get older, it's going to be really important to learn certain technologies to keep in touch with them and to have things in common with them. So what it's a way of staying connected, but it's also a way of showing your willingness to learn new things. And that can be one of the hardest part for us. I'm 65 and I have to say, having not grown up in a technology era, everything is a new learn. And I have had to learn, I have actually struggled with a car seat to the degree that I had to actually unstrap the car seat from the car, carry it into the house with a baby in it to get that child out of the car seat. So there's a lot to unpack here, and I don't want anybody to be discouraged, but you're going to have to get out of your comfort zone. You're going to have to get on Google and YouTube and figure out how to use some of these things. And if you're going to be grandparenting over the weekend with your grandkids, seriously, you're going to have to embrace this as like going back to school, and you're going to want to get an A in this course. So let's start with car seats. So you're going to have a positive mindset about the car seat because not only are they a little more complicated than the car seats we had? This is where grip strength becomes so important. And this is why this Active Grandparenting 101 course really starts to make sense. I have arthritis in my hands. You can see I have a very enlarged joint here. And sometimes my hands really don't work as well as I'd like them to, but you really need to have this grip strength and finger mobility to get children in and out of these car seats. So we're going to cover a lot of this in the next sections, but just know grip strength. A simple thing you can do is literally get a tennis ball, and when you're watching TV, squeeze it in your right hand and then your left hand to keep your grip strength strong. So you're going to want to understand the basics. When your child gets a car seat, you may have to get that same car seat for your car. So communicate. This is why communication is so important. Communicate with your kids about the car seats they're going to use, about their strollers, about the baby monitor, so that you can go on Google and YouTube and watch some videos about how to use these things. That's going to give you a head start and a little bit of a leg up. And the more you guys use the same equipment, the easier this is going to be. The baby monitors, you may have to download an app to your phone. Don't be overwhelmed by that. You may want to have your children help you do that, but then you need to practice it. And again, Google and YouTube have videos. You'll be able to find videos that show you how to do this stuff. So get out of your comfort zone. Don't be intimidated, but know that when you're babysitting, your kids are going to be watching you, on the, our kids have cameras set up in their home. They've got monitors on the crib. They can pretty much see if we're doing things the right way or not. And so get ahead of it, get comfortable with some of this stuff before you're in the situation where you're actually doing it. And don't be afraid to ask for help from your kids, help from your children's partners, help from neighbors and friends who may already be grandparents. You're not alone. We're all dealing with this at the same time. And once you start to learn these new things, you get comfortable with them. Remember when we used to We went from getting the gas pumped in our car to pumping our own gas. We figured out how to do that. Now we can check ourselves out at CVS and the grocery store. We can learn new things. We don't need to be intimidated by this stuff. Um, Strollers can be kind of complicated, and like car seats, strollers do a lot of different things. Our children have 4 different strollers, and I'm sure they're going to be getting another one that's a double one. So ask your children to show you how to use the stroller. The stroller also has a strap in like the car seat. So do your grip strength exercises, get yourself some grip putty or a tennis ball, work on your grip strength, but don't be overwhelmed by this stuff. Have your kids show you how to do it. Go to YouTube or Google the item, go to their instruction videos. You got this. You can do it. You got to learn to use it and you've got to practice, okay? Um, and let's see. Oh, and then there's things like thermometers, booger removers, gas relieving tools, toothbrushes, and more. So this is the kind of stuff you really want to go over with your kids, even if your kids say, "Oh, mom, you don't need to do this right now. We're here." Well, there's going to come a time when they're not there and you're going to need to use the booger tool. So go ahead. Don't do this all at once, but maybe each time you're with your children and your grandchildren, make sure you learn to do one of these new things. Make sure you know how to do the toothbrushing. Make sure you understand the potty training routine they're using. If they're using the gas removing tool, make sure they demonstrate how to use it, because you're not going to use any of this stuff if you don't know how to use it. And always maintain a positive mindset, ask a lot of questions, and at the same time, because we're talking about technology, ask your children before you buy your grandchildren gifts. If you're buying a gift or an interactive toy, make sure that you get the sign off from your kids first, okay? Because some grandparents get very excited about gifting the latest and greatest educational toy or app or device. And it's always important to get the parents' buy off on this stuff. We don't want to go rogue and inundate the grandchildren with a bunch of items that the parents really don't approve of. So make sure with technology gifts that you get the parents' approval first. And then if you have older grandchildren, make sure that you're checking with your kids and doing a little research on your own. There's some amazing, amazing tools out there for long distance grandparents. There are tools where you can read your grandchildren's stories, um, and you can read them stories on the computer on Zoom. But if you're reading Little Red Riding Hood, let's say, it actually transforms you when you're reading Red Riding Hood into Red Riding Hood. And then when you're reading the wolf part, it transforms you into the wolf. So you can create, there are so many interactive tools for grandparents out there to help you stay in touch with your grandchildren. Um, as they get older, and if you're a long distance grandparent. So learning how to use social media and messaging apps and different apps for sharing videos and photos, and then always make sure that you follow the online safety protocols and etiquette. So this is really important. This is why we need to become lifelong learners. This is a way to help us create connection with our grandchildren, create confidence in our children that we know how to use all the equipment. And you can't just put your head in the sand and ignore it. Technology is here to stay, and it's important as grandparents that we jump in with an open mind and a willingness to learn. So you've got this, you can do it. And remember, again, this goes back to communication, and it incorporates a lot of the staying fit part with our hand strength and our grip strength that's so important for active grandparenting.